Whew. Okay, here we go. Okay. Is this thing on? Hello? Is it on? Is this thing on? Okay. And we're on. We're rolling. Whew. Why am I nervous? I've done so many videos. Why am I nervous about this one? Yikes. Whew, child. Okay, hold on. Why am I nervous? This is crazy. All right. Okay.
Please be with me, Jesus. Amen. Hold me tight, honey. Amen.
All right, so boom. Yes, I'm nervous. Yes, the video is flickering and I did my best to cut it down as much as I could in CapCut. No, I'm not re-recording it. Old me would have scrapped the whole thing. Second act me, I stopped, I prayed, and I said, girl, just record it. This isn't about being perfect anymore. It's about being present, obedient, and showing up anyway. So, if this is a little shaky, welcome. This is live footage of my second act. Jesus' name, amen. Okay, baby, I got to pray. What? All right, let's go. Hey, girl, hey, my name is Tashara Janae, and welcome to my second act. Oh my gosh! Whoa! I don't know, something about sitting here saying this, looking at the camera with the microphone makes it for real. I've talked about it. I've told my friends. I told my cousin who's like my content coach. And of course, I told ChatGPT. But something about actually making this video, introducing myself to the world for real, yikes. Here's the thing. I've been on social media. I am that brave girl, TJ. Brave is my brand. Brave is who I am. But I don't think I've ever really introduced myself and who I am. I've talked in a fragmented story about my journey to church, journey in church, leaving church, going back to church, all the things about church. But I don't think I've ever sat down and just said who I am. So let's do it. This is a big deal. Now, I'm not going to make this a long, drawn out story. All I want to talk about is my second act. And first, I want to define what that is so you'll know what I'm talking about. I got to read it so that I don't mess it up. But here we go. Hi, my name is Tashara Janae, and welcome to my channel. And this channel is all about keeping it real about faith, mental health, and navigating life in my late 30s. Welcome to my second act. And what is a second act? And this is how I define it for me. My second act is bravely navigating life after 30 when I've stopped proving, stopped shrinking, and started living. Rooted in faith, healed enough to choose differently, and confident enough to let love, purpose, and joy meet me where I am. This is my story to show that it really does get better. If you're rebuilding your life in your 30s or 40s, welcome, girl, and I want you to know that you are not late, but you're actually right on time. All right, baby, here is my story. I'm 38 years old. I turned 38 this year in April, and approaching 38, I thought, man, this is not at all how I thought my life would be. At 38, I definitely thought I would be married for years, actually, with maybe 1 to 2 children, who knows, a fence and a dog. I don't know, maybe I would be driving like an XL SUV because never a minivan. No shade to the minivans. I understand why y'all need those. But here I am, single, no kids, in a sports car, actually. Still living a dream life, but it's not the life that I dreamt. This is a lot. I am by profession a mental health therapist. I love being a therapist. I've been a therapist for 10 years. I've been in private practice for 5 years. And I own Brave Women Life Coaching in Madison, Alabama. And at Brave, I help women manage their mess, their mood, and their mindset with the Bible, meaning their mess, their time management, their organization, and how they plan their life, their mood, emotional intelligence, their emotional regulation, and their mindset, which is how they think about all the things that I mentioned. And there, me and God, because I'm never counseling on my own, do our grandest one together. We do our big one. And I really help women in the hardest parts of their lives. And I have a place in their lives where I guide them. We talk through things, but ultimately it's them. And I always say, I'm just your tour guide. Like, hey, this is a part of life. This is a part of life that you could choose. This might be what it would look like based on patterns and psychological processes and, emotional regulation and all the things. Or you could choose this part of life. Let's talk about what it would look like. And we just process things together. That is what I do as a therapist. And with helping women navigate their lives, many do not know that I was in one of the hardest moments of my life. And I'm a therapist with a therapist because I believe that therapists need therapists. And she was helping me navigate a life and helping me make choices. And it's so amazing to look at my clients on the other side and say, man, I was there with my therapist saying some of the same things, repeating some of the same patterns. And she said, you can make this choice or you can make this choice. And she helped me choose what I believe is the life that I have right now. And I believe that the choices that you make now build who you're going to be in the future. And I have made so many choices that has helped to build who I am now. And those choices were hard. And I thought those choices was going to take me up out of here. Okay. Take me to the king. That's what I thought the choices were going to do. It was gut wrenching. It was hard leaving a relationship and choosing to choose myself, choosing to start over in your late 30s seems a bit crazy. It just seems like you go, hey, just go with what you know. And I decided what I knew was hurtful and what was next was unknown, and I didn't know what it was going to be like, and that was scary. But I said, it can't get worse than this. So I made a choice, and here I am 2 years later on the other side of every type of pain possible, every type of abuse possible, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, all of that. Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, every type of abuse I endured. And here I am laughing. Here I am singing. Here I am with amazing friends and community. Here I am doing the things that I love. Who knew that this is what life could be like? I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all knew. I'm pretty sure some people knew that this is what life could be like, but I had no idea. There was a point in my life where I thought, my life is never going to be better. And at least I know what this pain will bring me, and I know how to handle it. I know how to deal with this abuse. I know how to deal with these feelings, and I'm comfortable with it. I've acclimated myself to feeling hurt. And so I can deal with this. And I don't know what's on the other side of this. I don't know if it'll get better. It might get worse. I don't think it could, but it might not improve. But y'all, when you make it, whatever life you want is really on the other side of a hard decision, and whatever pain you're enduring, if you make a different choice, there's purpose for it on the other side of it. Now, that does not negate you from consequences. Our choices do have consequences. I've dealt with some consequences of things due to the choice that I made in the situation that I was in. However, God has been so gracious and merciful, even in the consequences, because I know for a fact that it could be worse than what it was. And so I'm so grateful. The fact that I can smile, let me tell y'all, I used to not smile. And here's the thing, and this is all gonna make sense eventually. But here's the thing. If you watch my previous vlogs, you will see me laughing, dancing, joking, like just having the time of my life. And you would have never known that I used to have a panic attack every single day. I have it documented in my phone that my watch used to go off multiple times a day, signifying my heart rate. My resting heart rate, just sitting down, not doing anything, would be 120. That is a heart rate of you working out, because I was so worked up, I was so anxious, and there are so many things fighting against me that I was just fighting for my life to stay alive. And there was a moment in 2018 where I attempted to end that pain and it did not succeed. And I'm so grateful, because in 2018, I never would have imagined that I would be living the life that I live right now. I wanted it to end. I wanted the pain to stop. And that's because I had to change the way that I thought about pain and change the way that I thought about my life. But now, living the life that I have right now in this moment, I never would have imagined that. Never. So I know that my next phase, do you know what Ephesians 3:20 says? If you don't, I'm going to put it on the screen, because I'm going to let you know that it's exceeding abundantly and above all that you can ask or think. Whatever you're asking God for or thinking about usually is the floor compared to his ceiling. And I'm learning that. So back to the story. Throughout my life, I've experienced a lot of trauma, a lot of things. And particularly in the past 2 years of my life, like I said, I'm 38. So we'll say 3 years. We'll go from 35 and beyond. When I turned 35, I looked at my life and I said, this can't, this it? This cannot be it. I cannot. I was imagining 40, and I said, if my life is like this at 40, baby, absolutely not. And I thought, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? But the thought of starting over, starting your whole life over in your late 30s is it's just a bit wild, because I think we're conditioned to believe this is me in my I'm from Alabama. I'm a Southern belle. So Southern raising is you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get married, you have children somewhere in there, you get a job, you work that job, and then you retire. I'm a true millennial, okay? I'm gonna quit a job. I've had so many careers and so many jobs, and when I don't like it, I quit it, because y'all not finna stress me out, especially not for a check, and especially not for a check that's not paying my bills. You gonna stress me and my lights getting cut off? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not go in the lane that tradition raised me to do. I did go to school. I went to college. I went and got my master's. I got married. I got divorced. I don't have children. And this is the longest career that I've had, and I've moved around a lot. I've not had any roots. I've not had any stability. But now, finally, at 38, I have roots, I have stability, I have community, I have family, and I have a life that is beyond anything that I could have imagined. And that took me leaving a situation and believing that God was going to carry me through it. And if I told the whole story, you'd be like, what? You made it through that, baby? I made it. And God carried me through it. And here I am, going from a panic attack every day, multiple times a day, actually, going from not ever being able to sleep, just having nightmares and night terrors, and not being able to rest because of anxiety, going from almost filing for bankruptcy, going from having months where I didn't get paid. This is all from 2022 and beyond. Going from my car breaking down, having to rent a car, and then thinking that my car was fixed and it wasn't fixed, and being on the side of the road and having a car that was smoking, and it was my only mode of transportation. Going from needing to find a place to live in a certain amount of time and not knowing where I was going to live, and then living in a house that I looked at months before and could not afford, to being able to afford it. Going from being depressed to where I would be in bed for days at a time, and I would only get up to go to work. And as soon as my work day was over, and that was literally the power of the Holy Spirit getting me through the work days, and then come home and go in bed and getting up and doing it over again. Going from feeling like my only purpose was to pour into people and watch their lives get better while mine progressively got worse, and thinking, what is the use in me pouring into them when none of that comes back on to me? And now, living the life that I live now. So, welcome to my second act. And my second act is me rebuilding my life after leaving a horrible situation, rebuilding my life literally after losing it all. I lost everything. The office that I worked at, the house that I lived in. Well, the car broke down, but we got it fixed and we paid her off. Period. From being drowning, overwhelming in debt to somewhat having my head above water now, from being isolated and having absolutely zero friends to now having a loving, supportive community. Not me about to cry. From leaving church, going back to church, feeling like my place spiritually was not accepted, to now having a functioning nonprofit. And we have a conference every year. And this year we actually had two. Going from thinking that my life was solely to give encouragement to everybody else and not experience that, to now experiencing it in so many ways. And so I've gone through some changes in content. I've been creating content for 2 years. And in content, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was actually supposed to be creating. I was just moving. And I created a TikTok video the other day that said, if you make a move, God will direct it, or something of that nature. But basically, you have to move and God will direct you the rest of the way. And so with content, that's exactly what I did. I just did stuff. And I feel like God has directed me. And now finally, here we are. And this channel is going to be called My Second Act Diaries. Second Act Diaries will be my day in the life vlogs. I'm going to do weekly vlogs. We are going to do our best to post one a week. And in weekly vlogs, you'll see me work from home. You'll see me hang out with my friends. You'll get to be introduced to my friends, my girls. Y'all, just the smallest things. Like, I have a hairstyle. Well, my foot look big like that. Let's not do that. Let's just cover the foot up. I have a hairstylist that I love. Amber, if you watching, girl, I love you. She is like my big sister, and her daughters are like my nieces, and I love them. Like, small things like that seem small. Like, I have somebody that I trust with my hair, that I know when I get up out that chair, I'm going to look good. Amber helped me through leaving the situation that I was in. She didn't even know it, to feeling beautiful again. At one point, I was getting my hair done because it's what he liked and what he wanted me to look like. And now this boho bob, baby, signature look, but being safe enough to say, hey, I want to cut my hair. Why am I about to cry? I sat in the chair and it's like, I want to cut my hair. And just being able to have a different look, cutting off that hair during that time was so important to me, because in my previous situation, I could only have long hair. I could only look a certain way. I'll never forget, somebody said to me one time, I didn't even know you had casual clothes, because the way I dressed up every day because it was what he wanted and it was what he desired for me to look like. And so now in my second act, I will tell you about trying new hairstyles. I have so much makeup because trying different makeup looks and doing what looks right for me, because I want to look good for me and not for anybody else, and feel the most comfortable in my skin. So you'll meet my friends who have supported me, and I'm about to cry again. My best friend that you will see pretty much, if you listen, if you're watching a weekly vlog, you're going to see her a couple of times. You're not going to just see her once. You're going to see her a couple of times, but she has shown up for me. She has helped me transform my finances. Y'all, she taught me how to budget. I couldn't even say the word. She taught me how to budget. I will link her budget planner. Let's see. We'll put it right here in my hand. Yeah, get yours immediately. I'll even put a QR code. Y'all just scan the screen and order your budget planner, because it really helped me revolutionize my finances. And we're still pulling ourselves out of debt. We're still working through a whole lot of things that happened in the past couple of years. But without that, I feel like I would not have what I have. I've been able to travel. I've been able to still have a life, still enjoy my life, while also managing my finances and paying off debt. So you will see Deanna, that is my girl. She's my best friend. She has helped me so much, y'all, when I was going through. And doing life with people is so important because when I was going through it, I could call her. And let me tell y'all, there's this road, it's called Capshaw. There was one night where she was in sports mode on Capshaw. The lady lives at least 15 minutes away from me. She got here in 9 minutes. Do not recommend that, but I needed her. And she arrived so quickly. There's times where she wouldn't hear from me, for a couple hours. These were moments where I was still working on my emotional regulation, and she texts, "You good?" And I wouldn't respond or something. There's a person at your front door. Miss Girl's on the Ring camera. She's dropping off flowers, or she's, making sure I'm okay. And just to know that somebody has you, that you don't have to worry about competition, and you don't have to worry about anything. She's supporting me through everything. And we laugh. We have a great time together. We travel together. We get along. And she's stuck with me. And that means so much to me. So thank you to my best friend. You will see her all over these vlogs. And I will insert a clip of us laughing here because that's what we do best.
Just send me the clip later on so I can laugh at it.
There's D, and then there's Fatia. You will see Fatia. Fatia is my girl. Fatia is the extrovert of the group. Baby girl is going to be outside. She's going to talk to the people. I'm not going to talk to the people. I'm going to get overstimulated, and she's going to take us the rest of the way. She's going to network. She's going to do the thing. And she has just come into my life, and I'm so grateful for her as well, and also her children. It's so good to not only be in somebody's life, but also, be involved with their kids and know their family. My friends are my family. So you'll see them, and those are who I'm with the most. They're local and they're around. So I see them all the time. My big sister, Rakare, lives down the street. That is my girl. If I ever need anything, she also is going to pull up, and hopefully y'all will see her on YouTube soon. And I'm going to tag her so that she can hear this because she's so entertaining and she needs to be on here. That's my girl. I love her. She has stuck with me for years now. And if I ever need a good cussing out, I'm going to text her and say, is this too much? Is this dramatic? Tell me that this is crazy, and she's going to tell me. And if I ever need somebody to pray for me, she always is. And I love her. So I have other friends. They are not local, but y'all will see them sprinkled in here, hopefully, throughout my journey. You'll see clips of my mom. I'm an only child. Love my mama.
I would like to have another son-in-law.
What?
So yeah, I hope those goals are met.
We're doing the best we can. She does not live close to me. I want her to move, but she won't move. She also doesn't watch these videos, but if anybody know her, tell her, move up here. Yeah, my life is full. It's full of support and people and love and things that I did not think that I would ever get back. And all those things have been redeemed, and I'm excited about that. So that you'll see all of that in my second act diaries, which is my day in the life vlogs. And then I'm going to do some second act essentials, which are the things that have helped me as I've rebuilt my life. Like I talked about my hair, figuring out different styles, my makeup, figuring out what I want that to look like, and fragrances and different styles of clothes. I didn't own any sneakers. Now I got a plethora of dunks. Experimenting with my style so that I look the way that I want to look. And that's not just external, but also internally. So I have my routines, the things that I do to keep me on track, like the Glorify app. I read it every day. And I verse map. I write a scripture a day because it keeps the witchcraft away. And I have a verse mapping journal that helps with that. I will put it right here in my hand and also link it. And I'm also going to do a video on how to verse map. I'm starting out this channel. I feel like I've posted on the channel. Now we're restarting the channel. And there's so many things I want to talk about, so many things that I want to show on to show people that whatever you're in right now, it don't end like that. Because it won't always be like this. Okay? Sooner or later, it's going to turn in your favor. And what I love about turning is that it's a process. You don't turn, like, you don't start here and you're just on the other side without some sort of motion, right? And it's the true learning and love and growing is in that motion of turning. We always want to talk about going from one destination to the next. I want to talk about the turn. I want to talk about what happens in that process. And I'll tell stories of how, when I was going through it, these are the things that I used to do to get me through that. And just my favorite things that have helped me along the way. And lastly, I'll have Tashara Talks, and it is my tips on mental health and some Bible things. I don't want to say Bible teachings, but I'm going to start breaking down some scriptures and things that have really helped me. And one of the things, I'm going to say this real quick. One of the things that I was studying the other day was a woman with the issue of blood. And what stuck out to me the most wasn't that she touched the hem. We always want to talk about her touching the hem of the garment, but she said in herself, if I can just touch. And a lot of things that have helped me get to my second act is saying, if I could just do it, if I could just make it through this day, if I can just, if I just post this one video, if I just do this, like stirring my faith and believing that every day I wake up every morning like, I made it. I'm here again. God, what we gonna do today? What's tea? What's gonna happen? What good is gonna happen today? That's what I wake up every morning and say, because some days it used to be like, I open my eyes and be like, Lord, I'm still here. Please. Get me out of here. And I don't feel that way anymore. But for her, she was stirring her faith. If I can just touch. And the more she said, if I could just touch, I can just, I can see her saying, just walking or crawling and getting through that crowd saying, if I can just touch him, if I could just touch him. So for me, it's just, if I can just make it through this day, if I can just see this last client, if I can just edit this one video, if I can just do this, something's going to happen. It takes one step, one step, one step, one step. But baby steps. Shout out to Olivia Dean. You got to take those steps. So I'll be talking about those things, those type of things in Tashara Talks, my second act. And that is what this channel will be comprised of, what my second act looks like. Oh, second act in pivoting careers. I am a therapist. I love being a therapist, but one-on-one therapy is a lot. It really takes me down through there some days. And I want to pivot into doing content creation full time. I want to pivot into doing some group work. I want to pivot into doing more writing. I want to pivot into doing events. I want to decorate small scale intimate events. I want to come to your house and turn your house into an event center. And I want it to feel like the room is so small and cozy and intimate, but also it's grand. Okay. Also, you were intentional and you did your big one and you thought about your guests and what they needed. I want to do those types of things. And when you have a degree and you have a prestigious job and you make money and you say, well, now I want to be a content creator and I want to decorate events, that sounds counterintuitive or counterproductive to the work that I did to get here. But everything that I have done to get here works for decorating events. I can pay attention. I can listen to people. I know what, I can help people articulate what they need because of the work that I do as a therapist. My first degree is English. I am detail oriented. I'm a writer. I'm imaginative. I'm creative. That works for what I want to do next. So, if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, if you're just 31, whatever it is, you feel like I want to do something else, do it. Nobody told us that life really is trial and error and we're just all out here experimenting and doing things. Nobody said that. I thought there was a concrete lane and you had to do that. And my life didn't go that way and I thought I failed. But actually, I'm flourishing. So welcome to my second act. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all, I wanted this to be like me with my makeup on, looking beat and all the things. But here's the thing that I really want my content to portray. On the internet, I am just present. It is just my presence on the internet. I'm never performing. So how you see me is how you see me. What I'm doing is really how I live. It is never I am putting on so that the internet could like me. I don't ever want it to be that because I want your life and my life to be like, you know what? We just regular girls out here getting it done, having a time, living the life that we've always desired, and it is achievable and sustainable and attainable for all of us. Nobody gets left out. Nobody gets left behind unless you choose not to make that decision and not to do what is best. So take a risk, girl, because more than likely it's going to work out in your favor. Not more than likely, it absolutely is going to work out in your favor because all things work out for our good. And that's the word. And we never gonna argue with the word, okay? Because what he said is what he said. His promises are what? Yes and amen. Period. Welcome to my second act. I'm so glad you're here. Stay tuned for weekly videos, either a vlog, a Tashara Talks, an essential something, and follow me on all social media. I am on Instagram and TikTok at That Brave Girl TJ. You can visit my website at tasharajanae.life. I have a little bit about me. We're going to revamp my website. And also, I have merch. So I got t-shirts. And we're going to give a little bit more insight on living proof of a loving God because I'm living proof. But anyway, I have t-shirts, I have mugs, I have journals, I have the verse mapping journal. I got a Brave Bible study box to help you with studying the Bible. I've got a mindset workbook, baby. The store is stocked, okay? So head over to tasharjanae.life and get some merch. And I can't wait to bring you guys on this journey with me. And honestly, I might do a second act part 2 to introduce myself a little bit more, but I think this is pretty good for now. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my second act, and I will see you in my next video. And remember, stay brave, stay blessed, and whatever you do, don't crash out. I love you. Bye. Woo! I did it. I did it. All right, let's go edit it before I change my mind.